Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy REEZ here on the Dynasty Recall podcast, dropping more knowledge to help you dominate your Dynasty league. Sorry, I gotta fix my mic real quick. It's your boy REEZ. You can follow me on Twitter at FF_REEZ, dropping more knowledge to help you dominate. You know the tagline. We're back. It's been a little bit, but we are back. It's been, I would say, a week or two since my last podcast. I haven't really been keeping track. Had some other projects going on that I've been working on. Most notably, I had the Dynasty Recall Orphans League, where I let Sleeper auto draft, and basically the entire team is just made up of the entire league is made up of orphans. We have some really smart minds in there. We've got, let me look. I just wanted to get a few analysts, a few podcasts, just other people who are interested. We got Tony FF at It's Just Fantasy _ You Can Smile Now, which is Emily Lefko. I'll pull up her Twitter right now. She is amazing. At Empowered, capital E, lowercase m, Powered FF. She's an analyst. She works for Dynasty Nerds, and she's getting ready to start her own podcast at Hustlers FF. Give it a follow. Check it out. That's dropping soon. We got Coach Trav. He's a host of Losing Sucks podcast, and they're putting out great information. They just dropped a podcast the other day. I gave it a listen. It was pretty great. A lot of good information, a lot of good debates and stuff. Sorry, guys, I got a cat. But who else do we got? King Josh. He's part of Filthy Fantasy Football. One of the three co-hosts over there. And then we got a few listeners in at GWR, at Gangrene, Ace 97.8. But it's a lot of smart minds, and that's really just what I wanted to do. I wanted to get a lot of smart minds and really just bring us all together and network and be able to test each other's mettle in a way. But the biggest focus of doing this league was I wanted to see trades. I wanted to see a lot of trades go down, and that's when I'm doing this podcast. I'm here to talk about all the trades that have gone down. It's been a week since the league started, and there's been some pretty decent trades that went down. A lot of interesting stuff, and I'm going to break it down and dissect it for everybody. So, without... Oh, man. I'm sorry, guys. I almost forgot. We also got Ryan Kennedy in the league, and he's awesome. He's a self-proclaimed fantasy football expert and analyst. Give him a follow on Twitter. His handle is at Ryan, capital R, Kennedy, capital K, _22. And he's solid. We have... Okay, yeah, I already did King Josh. All right, so let's get into it. So, one of the first trades that went down. Let me pull it up on the screen here for you guys. Bam, and here we are in a sleeper. One of the first trades that went down was by Jack Segura and GWR, and it was Christian Kirk and Matt Corral for Josh Jacobs. I think it's a pretty even trade-off, given in this league is I forgot to go format. Dang. This league is a 12-team standard PPR Superflex tight end premium 0.5 premium. So pretty standard tight end premium Superflex league. Nothing crazy really. So we got Christian Kirk and Matt Corral for Josh Jacobs. I guess it all depends on your feelings about Christian Kirk. I'm not a fan of Matt Corral. If he gets that first round draft capital, which he might, but I don't think it depends on where he lands. The draft is coming up in a few days, and it'll be interesting to see how things shake out with the quarterback situation. Who's the number two? Um, Malik Willis seems pretty clear cut as the number one quarterback for for the NFL draft. Maybe I play too much fantasy, but for me it's fairly obvious that he's the number one. Um, who else do we got? Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ritter's making a late climb. Apparently, all the NFL GMs have him as a first round talent. Yet to be seen. I don't. I'm not a rookie expert, so I don't claim to know. If I had to pick one, I like Kenny Pickett. I think he has the best possible career arc. So back to breaking down this trade. Christian Kirk. Oh, Christian Kirk is gonna be the number one. They paid him the money, and there doesn't seem to be much competition over in Jacksonville. We'll see if they draft a wide receiver in the first round this year. I don't think it happens. I think they shore up that offensive line or the defensive, well, the entire defense. So Christian Kirk is looking to be number one. Christian Kirk had an okay year last year. I expect him to do a little bit better considering DeAndre Hopkins was out for most of the year. So he put up 77 receptions, 982 yards, and 103 targets. Finished as a wide receiver 26 in PPR formats. And I expect him to finish about the same. I think he might do a little bit better. Maybe 110 targets, 85 receptions, 1,100 yards, something along those lines. But I've got him mid wide receiver 20s, wide receiver 25-ish. I'm not expecting too much of a breakout for him. And then you got Josh Jacobs on the other side. I'm more of a fan of Josh Jacobs. I think I would have rather kept him. As long as Vegas doesn't draft a running back, I think he's in line for a lot of work and having a great year. That passing offense should take a lot of the pressure off of him, less stacked boxes, and Josh Jacobs is still young. Let me look into his stat line last year. So Josh Jacobs finished as the RB11, 217 attempts, 800 yards, 9 touchdowns. So I expect him to have 1,000 yards next year. Probably a little bit more carries, probably around 250 range, maybe a little bit less, maybe more in line with his rookie year, 242. That seems pretty doable. And then he had a career high 64 targets, 54 receptions. So I expect him to be probably even more active in the passing game. But Josh Jacobs is, I think he's a buy this offseason. I think he'll finish as a top 10 running back, or top 12, yet again. We'll see how the injury bug plays out throughout the league. I think that helped his RB1 status this year a lot. But with overall trade, I'm going with Josh Jacobs. I think it's a solid trade all around. I think it's a matter of personal preference. I don't think it's too far apart. I personally would rather have the running back. I'm not a huge believer that Christian Kirk. Sorry. I'm not a huge believer that Christian Kirk is going to finish, wide receiver, a high-end wide receiver 2 or a wide receiver 1 at all. I just don't see it happening. I do expect Trevor Lawrence to take a step forward, but I expect there to be other production pieces around that's going to take away some targets and some looks from Christian Kirk. So that's where I'm at with it. Overall, good trade. I don't think any side got over on the other or anything like that. Um, the next trade was Tony FF at its just fantasy underscore and Emily Lefko at Empowered FF. Um, Antonio Brown for Curtis Samuel and DJ Chark. It was, I believe in Curtis Samuel, so I think he'll have a much better year. I put on my last podcast that he's one of my buys this offseason. I don't quite know how I feel about DJ Chark, but it's not a bad trade. So it's Curtis Samuel and DJ Chark for Antonio Brown, not AJ Brown. So if you truly believe Antonio Brown is going to play in the NFL again, I'm all for it because all he does is produce when he's on the field. I'm not a believer myself, and so I'm going to have to give the trade to Curtis Samuel and DJ Chark. I think his last outburst was kind of the final straw, the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will. And I think his NFL days are done. I don't see him suiting up ever again. I don't think any team's going to be willing to take the chance on him. But if by chance he does happen to play again, I would look out, and he's a definite buy. And I'd pay up to a second round pick if I'm contending for him, because the production you get is much like the production you get from Leonard Fournette. Production you get is not going to be worth his value. It's going to be way more production than what he's actually worth. And those are the players I'm all for, because there's no reason for me to sell them, and I'm just going to keep winning until they retire. My next beer, guys, from Mission Brewery, they're hazy. I love hazy IPA, so it's kind of one of my go-tos. Mission Brewery is down here in San Diego. That is a 7% alcohol percentage. It's amazing. I love it. It's highly recommended. Highly recommended. Okay, on to the next trade. There's been quite a few, guys. This is my first trade. And this was, I gave up AJ Brown and David Njoku, and I received Terry McLaurin and TJ Hawkinson. I'm absolutely in love with this trade. I think it was a fucking steal. I think I've won this trade, but I'm a little biased. And Twitter had it a lot closer. I think it was 45 to 55. All the trades that I make, I am putting up on Twitter as a poll, so go vote if you see it. Give me a follow on Twitter. But obviously, my thought process here was wanting to downgrade from AJ Brown to collect another asset. And, AJ Brown is obviously a top 10 Dynasty wide receiver. So I thought, okay, well, let me go after somebody who has some upside. Terry McLaurin obviously does. I didn't have that top 6 tight end in Dynasty or in Fantasy, and that really eats at me in a Superflex tight end premium league. Big advocate to go out and get one, especially a young one, if you don't know if you're going to be immediately competing, but having that asset is invaluable, in my opinion. Just because I don't want anybody to have that positional advantage over me. At least I want the shot that this guy can go off and we can kind of cancel each other out or battle it out, whatever. So this is probably one of my favorite trades so far. Obviously, letting go of AJ Brown hurts, but I think it's something I need to do for depth on my team. The next one that went down was Daniel Jones for Josh Palmer and Carson Strong. If you don't believe in Daniel Jones, this is an amazing trade. Carson Strong, I don't I don't know much about Carson Strong. I haven't done much analysis on him. Um, Everything I've heard is nothing good, and I don't project him to be a top 65. I don't project him to be drafted in the first 2 rounds. I don't project him to be drafted in the first 2 rounds. Therefore, I'm not really paying much attention. You know, for quarterbacks, if you're not drafting in the first 2 rounds, I'm not. I feel like it's kind of a waste of time. That's just me personally. Of course, there are outliers, but that's just not for me. Josh Palmer, I was a super big Josh Palmer stan this offseason, and the Chargers ruined it by re-signing Mike Williams. I don't know why the hell they would do that, but dashing all my hopes and dreams. So it's not a bad payout, really. It's 2 seconds for Daniel Jones, which isn't a bad price to pay, especially if you have the quarterback depth to do it. And that was between Gang Green, that was Ace, and GWR. GWR is super active in the trading. Seems to be something he really loves. Next trade, GWR is involved again. And this time he is trading away DK Metcalf for Isaiah Spiller, Tony Pollard, and Corey Davis. I'm sorry, man. This is not a trade I like for you. So I've had some conversation with him, and he's trying to go into like a rebuild kind of situation. But I just don't. You're selling DK Metcalf at his low. Like, realistically, because of what he did with Russell Wilson and the value drop that he received when he left, you're really selling DK at his low. You're better off selling mid-season after a good game. Just don't feel like you have to shape your team right now. You know, if you're going for a rebuild, space it out and, let the trades come to you as they come. You can't, wait for more situations to play out. But if you love Isaiah Spiller, it's not bad. I like Corey Davis. We'll see if the Jets draft a wide receiver. It's looking like they're going to draft Drake London, who I have on my team in this league, and it's we'll see how it goes. It's a tough one. So I'm leaning DK Metcalf side. I just am. I don't think Tony Pollard's going to be that guy. I think Zeke is going to come back strong and healthy. And, we'll see how it goes. Next trade I got is a big one. This is the BK. This is Coach Trav at Losing Sucks, the co-host over there. Cool guy. Talk to him a lot. And he gave up, it's a lot of depth pieces for Austin Eckler and Zach Wilson. So I guess a lot of this really depends on how you feel about Zach Wilson. If you think Zach Wilson is going to be a starter for years to come, then he's worth the buy. I think Zach Wilson take that next step this year, and they kind of put him in that Tua Tagovailoa situation where, okay, prove it. This is your chance. We'll see how you've developed and how you progress, and if you're the guy for this team. So I think they'll draft another wide receiver and just put him in a situation to succeed. Unfortunately, the Jets are going to jet, man. Don't get your hopes up. But Mac Jones, Chase Claypool, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Devin Singletary, Darrell Henderson, and a 23-second. That's a lot of pieces. But from a production standpoint, I don't think they'll outpace Austin Eckler pretty much by himself. from a value standpoint, you definitely got to go the package. But it really just depends on your mindset, you know? I give this one to Travis. Killed it. I think that's a great deal. I think you're getting possible pennies on the dollar, depending on how Zach Wilson plays out. That's the kind of situation I see. Next one was me and Machine Gun K-Mad. Elijah Mitchell and Jalen Tolbert for Saquon Barkley. Now, a lot of people don't agree with this, and I don't really give a fuck. Elijah Mitchell is a top 10 running back this year, and maybe for years to come. I'm super out on Saquon Barkley. I think he's done. I think his body has given out on him, and he just cannot perform at the level that we saw him perform his rookie year. So this was, from a value standpoint, I knew I was losing this trade. Probably could have got a first plus for Saquon, but that's not the route I wanted to go. I wanted to remain competitive while adding a depth piece, and I'm in love with Jalen Tolbert, so this just worked out for me. Basically, Mitchell in a second for Saquon, which you can get more for Saquon Barkley, but that's just the route I wanted to take, and I'm pretty happy about this trade. I think it'll work out for me once Jalen Tolbert gets drafted and starts playing and starts putting up wide receiver 2-3 numbers and doing what he does. Also, I don't mind the other side. I personally am not a Saquon Barkley fan, but I can understand the intrigue behind him. So, if Saquon Barkley is one of your guys, boom, go for it. Next trade, I swapped me and Chris B. Critter. We swapped Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson straight up. I asked him who he liked better. He told me he didn't really care either way. I have Kirk Cousins on my team, so I was like, hey, let's swap Jefferson and Chase. It's 1A, 1B. You're not losing anything. Why not? And so he was cool enough to do that with me. I appreciate that, man. I hope you don't win the league, even though you probably have the best team and you don't make any trades. Hit up my inbox. Let's get a deal done. A real deal. Travis and GWR, probably two of the most active guys in the league. Taysom Hill, Ramondre Stevenson, Alec Pierce, for Hunter Henry. I'm going to butcher this guy's name. Kike Ngwanu, 23 third and a 24 third. Give me Ramondre and Alec Pierce. I don't know. I don't really care about this trade either way. Like, it doesn't move me in any kind of way. I think Taysom Hill's not going to be much of an asset. But Ramondre could be an asset, and Alec Pierce also could be an asset. So I'll take the upside there. Give me the players. Me and Ryan, we swapped Hollywood and Mike Williams. I don't like Mike Williams. He's often injured. He's not quite worth the first for me. Granted, his situation is a lot more stable than it was last year, but he's just been super unreliable his entire career. He had that top 15 finish this year, but where has he been at the rest of it? It's 1 year. So I decided to take the shot on Hollywood. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I love me some Hollywood Brown. All the guy does is perform every year. So that was a good trade. Obviously, I'm taking the Hollywood side. The next one is a big one. Machine Gun K-Mad and GWR. Patrick Mahomes and Malik Willis for DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray, and Trey Lance. Give me Kyler Murray and Trey Lance all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. Malik Willis is a great prospect, but There's no rookie that's going to be in a better situation than Trey Lance. Trey Lance is set up to succeed in the NFL, and as long as he doesn't throw his opportunity away, he's going to succeed. As long as he's not throwing interceptions, he's going to succeed. And Kyle Shanahan will make sure of that. I can guarantee it. So, Trey Lance, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's kind of up in the air. Who knows what's going to happen with him? I'll bet on him to stay in Arizona and for them to pay him and keep throwing the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. Machine gun, great trade, easy dub. Oh, man. I know that was a hard trade to work out. Next up, we got GWR and Gangrene. Hunter Henry for Michael Gallup. Give me Gallup. Give me Michael Gallup all day. He's coming into that Dallas offense, and he's set up to be the wide receiver 2 over there. Will they draft somebody? Who knows? A lot of Twitter is chatting about it. Jerry Jones probably can't resist himself. Give me Michael Gallup. Once he comes off the ACL, he'll be solid. Hunter Henry's good too, but I'm not trading for anything less than top 6 tight end. Another good one. Ryan Kennedy and Travis. So we got Chris Godwin, Zach Wilson, and Treylon Burks for Jarvis Landry, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Davis Mills, and Justin Fields. This is a good trade. Give me Treylon Burks, man. Give me Treylon Burks. Give me Chris Godwin. Give me Zach Wilson. I don't expect Davis Mills to be a top-end quarterback in the league. Justin Fields, I don't think he has the necessary pieces around him to be successful. So, I just think the Bears are going to blow it up and eventually move on. I just don't trust the Bears organization. Amon-Ra is so overhyped. Jarvis Landry is a good acquirer. I think he'll go to Green Bay, but who knows? He still hasn't been signed yet. We'll see after the draft, I assume. So, I'm taking Godwin, Wilson, Burks. But it's close. It's a good trade. I like it a lot. I traded my 23 third for Kenny Golladay. Banking on Golladay to have a great year this year, to get back to how he was when he was playing with Stafford. I'm not going to hang on this one too much. It's pretty clear cut. I'm taking a shot on somebody, giving away a late pick. It's worth it in my eyes. Kenny Galladay's value can only go up from here. Next one, Nyheim Hines, Darnell Mooney, Zamir White, Chris Olave for Tyreek Hill and Tim Patrick. Give me Olave and Mooney. Mooney had 140 targets last year. Chris Olave is set to be one of the most mature wide receivers coming out and ready, hopefully, to step in for a great quarterback, namely Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers does not normally throw to rookies. Let's just get that out there. I'm not expecting Olave to come out as a rookie and have a wide receiver 2 season, but I think his value will sustain as long as he continues to play with Aaron Rodgers. And so I think it's a great pickup. But this one's pretty close because I do love Tyreek Hill in Miami. Gerald Everett for 23 third. Give me the third, I guess. Yeah, I don't really care for this trade. Personally, a lot of people probably felt the same way about my Kenny Golladay trade. I just feel like there's so many other tight ends to take a shot on than Gerald Everett. But it's pretty put up or shut up for him, so if he has a great year, then this is a steal. Alexander Madison for a 23 second. So Gangrene is getting Madison here, and he already has Dalvin Cook. So it's pretty I'd say it's pretty even to shore up the handcuff for your best running back on your team. I'll probably go with the second in this class. I like receivers. It's a deep wide receiver class. I probably would have done a third and throw-in player personally. So this trade literally just went down at 11:34. It is 11:38 as I'm recording this. Tony Pollard for Tyler Lockett and a 23 third. I'm out on. Give me Pollard. I'm out on Lockett. The 23 third is pretty, whatever. Yeah, give me Pollard. I don't think Pollard will be all that great either. I think it's going to be Zeke. He's going to be healthy. He's going to be back. Jerry Jones is going to feed him the ball. I say Jerry Jones and not Mike McCarthy because Jerry Jones run things. But give me Pollard still. Zeke is on his last leg. So that's it so far for this league. Super fun league. I just wanted to do a podcast today and break down some trades, talk some trades, and really get into it. It's really fun. It's been great connecting with everybody, and just networking and talking football, talking the NFL draft. GWR is going to the NFL draft this year. I hope he has a great time. See some players. Tell Malik Willis not to go to Detroit and ruin his career. But that's all I got. Follow me on Twitter at @FF_REEZ, wherever you decide to listen to this podcast, whether it be Spotify, whether it be YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever you do. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a review, leave a follow. And shoot us some feedback. Follow me on Twitter and shoot me a DM, and I'm always responding to everybody who DMs me. So that's it for today. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for stopping by. Glad to have you. Much love. Peace.